Hey Super Cruisers, it's Frank and Kevin from Cruising with Wheels.
We have another exciting Q&A for you today, so stick around. So welcome to Q&A number 55. Yes, that's right. We are double nickels on this Q&A. And if you haven't seen some of our Q&As, I encourage you to check out the playlist. It's called Subscriber Q&A. You can find it in our playlists. And if you have a question, it's very, very, very simple to get that question to us. You simply have to email us at
cruisingwithwheels@gmail.com.
And we may feature your question on one of our upcoming Q&As. But we'll get to the first question from Catherine. Catherine wrote us and said, my husband wasn't impressed with our first cruise. It was a Carnival cruise. She delineated. And I love that word, delineated. And now won't book another one.
Uh-oh.
Quote, they're all the same, he says. How do I convince him that they're not?
Well, it was the first cruise. I'm assuming that meant first cruise ever. So I don't know why he would say, I don't want to book another one, they're all the same, if you've never taken another one.
Yeah.
So I guess you can tell him what I just said. They're definitely not all the same.
They're not all the same. And I want to interject here because usually the first cruise is awesome, regardless of how crappy it is.
I know.
Because you don't know what to expect.
Maybe he had wild, crazy love boat expectations. I don't know. But the different cruise lines have very different ships with varying degrees of entertainment. Yes, we got the normal, the theaters, they have the sports complexes and the casinos. Everybody's got main restaurants and all that. But there are different specialty restaurants on all the different cruise lines, very different.
And there are varying degrees of food in general from cruise line to cruise line.
Yeah. And in terms of activities, well, you've got laser tag and go-karts and bumper cars and skydiving and flow riders. And again, if we kind of get past all of that, Catherine, tell him, it's also not about the ship on its own, it's where the ship is going. So maybe, was it the ports he didn't like that you visited? But I would say research. We always say that, do your research. Ask what he likes and see if you can come up with a good itinerary on a ship that he might find his activities and food restaurants that he might enjoy more than what he had.
Let him pick it.
Yeah. I mean, why should this all be on you? Ain't your fault. Now, the next one comes from Irene. Now, this is funny because it starts with, my husband thinks he knows everything. He wants to book the cruise himself online, but I'd like to partner with a travel agent for their expertise. What do you think, and how do I convince him to go my way?
Well, you know your husband.
Yeah.
We don't.
I know.
Will he screw it up?
I know.
That's the first question. Or is he very thorough? Because if you're going to book on your own, you need to be very thorough. Does he have that kind of knowledge to ask the right questions or do in-depth research to get the best price or the best cruise? Will he have time to figure out a fighting strategy?
Oh, yeah.
If he's got to fight, right?
If there's problems.
If there's a problem. And he has to spend time on the phone arguing with the cruise line if there's a problem.
Because if you're booking it, he's booking it, it's him that they're going to talk to. Because if you go through a travel agent, Irene, like you want to go through, it's their fight. They're fighting for you. So is he the kind of person like, hey, this cruise looks good, click, 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 I booked it, and then you're looking at it going, Well, did you see where it was going? Do you know all the extra charges? Did you know it was going to come? So if he's not into research and he really doesn't know,
I would say if you answered any of those questions with no, then you should go with the travel agent, and I would try to convince him. And I want you to remind your husband that we use a travel agent.
Yes.
We do not book these things on our own. Yes, we do the research. Yes, we enjoy that, and we find something that we like, and we call our agent and we say we want to do this. But then sometimes our agent has said, I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah.
So I would say, you decide, but I mean, I would go with the travel
We do 90% of the work, and then we go, book it. Just like when we bought the houses. We picked out the houses, called the real estate agent, put in an offer.
I picked out.
So,
I picked out the house.
We're invested.
Next question comes from Calvin, and Calvin wrote us and said, can I get all my money back if I decide to cancel our cruise? And what if they cancel the cruise?
How dare
As in, I think he's asking, is in the cruise line.
Yeah, yes, I would assume. Now, you can cancel anytime before final payment date and get a full refund.
Now, I would like to preface that is a good rule of thumb. However, we want you to make sure you check your cruise contract for this information, because not all cruise lines do this. Not all cruises do this. Some specific cruises, you have to pay a percentage, but 99.9% of them is anytime before final payment.
Don't book the 1/10%.
Right. And I also would like to say that if you have booked this with a travel agent and you've paid a booking fee, which we do, right?
We do.
The booking fee is non-refundable because that is your travel agent's commission.
They did their job.
Right.
And it's not their fault you canceled. Now, after final payment, it becomes a different story. And a lot of the cruise lines, their cancellation fees are charged according to like the number, isn't it the number of days prior to sailing, where they go down a percentage? If you're far out, it was past final payment by a couple of days, it's way far ahead.
It's usually 70. They usually do a 75%, then a 50%, then a 25%, and then
closer you get to sailing, like 2 days before sailing. See ya, Charlie. Sorry. Now, so check with each cruise line, because again, each one of them has their cancellation fee percentage list. Make sure again you read the policy and find out what the story is. If the cruise line has to cancel for you, are they offering a full refund? Are they offering credits plus additional percentages for a future cruise? A lot of the cancellations during the pandemic, boy, it was full refunds and additional this, and that. So,
well, what I've seen lately
they wanted you back.
If they cancel, then they will either give you 100% refund, or if you keep your money there, they'll give you a little bit more.
So yeah,
stuff.
Check out
check it out.
Check what they be offering. Yeah. Now the next question comes from Monica. Now Monica says, I want to book a cruise so badly, but my sister is still a no-go on traveling. Because of COVID, she sees germs and pestilence everywhere. How can I ease her fears?
Oh, jeez. You might not be able to,
I know.
Sadly. This COVID pandemic has hit a lot of people very hard.
Yeah.
Lives have been lost and lives have been changed forever.
Yeah.
And the fear is real.
It is.
And it's still out there. You can just go over the cruise line's health and safety policy and protocols with your sister and try to do the best that you can.
I mean, if cruise lines
I have a suggestion for her,
canceling and say, we don't require COVID testing, we don't require this, doesn't mean you can't test yourself. But I know you're worried about other people.
I would say, Monica, book a solo cruise.
Right.
You can go on your own.
I mean,
you'll have a great time.
If you want to take that leap and be a solo cruiser and not wait for your sister, if she's your normal, sounds like she's your normal travel buddy. I'm not sure. This really has changed a lot of people. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to change. I think in time is going to cure that one.
Now, the next question comes from Maureen, and she writes, I want a ship full of fun, lively people. Who is the best?
Oh, God.
This is such a difficult question.
Okay, so your requirements are lively, fun, and let me know who you're letting on. Okay. There really is no best on that one, really. Now, Carnival does have a reputation, if we start with them, as a party-hardy cruise line. But really, you really have no idea who is booked on your particular cruise. That week could be an older, quieter crowd of guests. It really, I always say that, it's a crapshoot. It really is a crapshoot. And for the opposite, for those people who are looking for a quiet, older crowd, you might wind up with a young, wilder group of screaming, drunken cruisers.
You never know.
I mean, the cruise line is not going to tell you who's going on your cruise. I mean, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Next question comes from Robbie. Robbie says,
Robbie is asking, I'm going to surprise my girlfriend with a cruise on her birthday. Good idea or not?
Well, do you know her thoughts on cruising, first off? Have you ever discussed taking a cruise? You know, I mean, really, you have to know what you're taking on by booking this cruise, right? If the subject has never been discussed and you show up with a cruise ticket in hand for her and she looks at you and says, why would we ever do this? That's going to be a big brain on your parade.
I know. So, sorry, Robbie.
Is this cruise more for you or is it more for her? What about her job?
Right.
You know, can she get that kind of time off that you've booked? I mean, maybe you're thinking of booking an 11-day cruise.
She's like, I can't be away that long. Are you crazy?
Surprises when it comes to cruises can be tricky. We'd love one.
Anytime. Surprise me with a cruise. Anytime.
So, but will she?
Yeah.
That's going to be the question. Yeah. You know your girlfriend better than we know her. I would say, you know, it's going to be challenging for you.
Feel it out. Feel it out. Yeah. If her response is, cruises are dumb, I don't know why people go on a boat full of germ people, then you know that's a bad surprise.
The next question comes from Adam, and Adam says, I know my wife will be hitting all the boutique shops on the ship and off the ship while in port. I think they're all such a freaking ripoff. How can I convince her that she's gonna pay through the nose and it's probably crap anyways?
I remember some TV show, it's crap. Okay, well, my answer to Adam is, okay, it's the wife on the spending spree. Adam, good luck with that. Okay, now your girl likes to shop, okay, and it seems like you know that, okay, but I want to remind you that you are on vacation, so try not to be the shopping police with her. It's going to make for a very, very bad cruise.
Wait a minute.
It's difficult balancing what your expectations are in terms of spending and what she wants to do. And so, you know, I mean, you got to, I think everybody has to give a little. Give a little here, give a little there. You know, but, I mean, you already know what you're getting into. You married her. So, you know, that's my advice. Now, the next question, our last one, comes from Devin. Now, Devin says, do cruise ships check for drugs? And can I buy stuff on the islands?
Okay. Well, it is strictly forbidden to bring marijuana or other illegal drugs on a cruise ship. Most cruise lines allow you to bring your bags on, but they're always going to check them. They're going to have drug-sniffing dogs in the port. They're going to have, your bags will be x-rayed. Yep. They're going to know what you have in your bag. Most cruise lines follow U.S. federal law which prohibits possession and use. That's regardless of where you're from. So we're from New York. New York, marijuana is now legal.
A lot of states.
But you can't bring it on the cruise ship with you. So even if your cruise ship departs from and calls to ports,
U.S. Virgin Islands,
where weed is legal, it still's banned from the cruise ship.
Right.
Also, like I said before, you're going to see those drug-sniffing dogs in the cruise port.
We've been in port where we've been in line, and the security guards,
regardless of whether it's the United States or one of your port stops.
We're showing our bags to get back, and there's a dog sniffing around.
Now, though not all cruise ports have these dogs present, the ports in the United States, Australia, Mexico, the Bahamas, and Bermuda are most likely to have them.
Yeah, little puppies.
Smaller ports are less likely to use these sniffer dogs, and I would say that you need to be very careful if you're in port buying illegal drugs, because you don't know if they're legal in that country.
Right.
So you could possibly get arrested.
How many times we were on the beach before we met, when I was traveling with my friends, and, you know, people walking by trying to sell us stuff. You know, you don't want to get caught. You're in a foreign country.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Because their laws might say drugs,
prison and
20
life.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Over here, it's like drugs, don't do it again. And over there, you're going away for 20 years. So,
right. Now, in closing, I'd like to thank you for joining us for another exciting Q&A. And remember, don't just watch our videos. Hit that subscribe button and become a regular Cruising with Wheels family member. We also encourage you to click that share button.
That's right.
Share it with your friends and family. Sharing is caring.
And remember, you can also find us on all the other social media platforms, because we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
But until next time, remember to
travel safe
and cruise often.